and we'll do roll call. Trustee Segura here. Trustee Fosco.
Here.
Trustee Belundes.
Here.
And we have a quorum. No public comments? No public comments. No correspondence. Unfinished business. We have the approval of the January 2026 BGPP minutes. Do I have a motion to pass the January BGPP minutes?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Let's go.
Discussion?
Any discussion on the minutes?
No discussion.
Do I have to call the roll for that, Tom?
No, you can just say all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
The aye.
As for any opposed,
Any opposed? None opposed. Motion passes. Okay, we have the meeting room policy clarification of wording. Director Consiglio brought some things to our attention. And where's my book? Here's my book. Okay. So in the meeting room policy where we get to fees,
We didn't approve the minutes.
we did.
Oh, you did?
We just did. That's okay. I'm proposing to change fees to deposits and fees for that subsection. And then on our first bullet point, it says for-profit organizations and groups not qualifying as a non-for-profit entity described above, having registered non-for-profit status. Previously, it said pay a $50 per instance to use the room to cover operational costs for room reservation and use incurred by the library. I'm proposing to change pay a $50 refundable deposit per instance to use the room, period, and then cross out to cover operational costs for the room reservation and use incurred by the library. That's the first change. Two bullets down, it just states fees are non-refundable unless notice of cancellation is received 48 hours before the meeting. I'm proposing to change that to deposits and fees. Similarly to the last bullet in that section, fees are due to the circulation desk of the library no later than 1 week before the event. I'm also suggesting we change the wording to deposits and fees. The reason why I feel we want to leave the wording fees in there is because there is a kitchen use fee that's separate from the deposit to reserve the room. So we're changing the wording there to reflect both deposits and fees and changing the paying per instance to a $50 refundable deposit. So, do I make a motion to change the wording?
Is that all the changes that the committee's going to consider tonight?
Yes, as far as I know. Is there anything else you got in there?
Direct,
The whole
that's all I have.
deposit thing that Kevin just brought up.
Oh, so Kevin brought up this like holding on to the deposit. I'm against that generally. That's just me. I think after the room has been used, we want to return it just to have a standardized practice.
I agree.
Well, here, can I make a suggestion? And
Yes.
you guys decide on that suggestion on if you want. What I had thought was we could take a copy of his check, return the check, because we shouldn't hold the check, because it should be balancing. You know, he could possibly want to balance the check. You shouldn't have any outstanding checks. I don't want a check floating around here. But I would write a letter, a waiver to him after Tom reviews it, that if there are any charges that we would do an ACH transfer, but notify him if that comes in case. It's just going back and forth with the check and holding it, but with whatever you want, we'll do.
No, I think you should write a check, we should take the check, and then if we're done with it, give the check back to him.
Can he
I
just
don't
hang
wanna
on
have
to it anyway and then
ACH.
present it with his next
He
request?
could do that.
And then he doesn't have to write another check. He can
But
write one, he can
I don't remember what banks are at 60 days.
Yeah, I don't think you want to do an ACH because
No, we
I
wouldn't
get
do
it
it.
in all sorts
It's just a point of.
Wouldn't an
no.
ACH also incur costs?
It would,
probably.
it would.
Yeah, so.
No, I think the cleanest way to do it is collect the check, and then if they're done with it, give the check back, let him tear it up, let him do whatever he wants to it, he can void it or whatever it is, because the checks are stale after 60 days anyway.
Because if all of a sudden,
Usually 60 to 90 days. If he
Mhm.
wants it, let him take it, take the check back, and then
if,
go
if,
that route.
if
Do
there
we
are
have-
other groups that would want to make the same monthly meetings, then we'd have to deal with all the other groups. So I think once the meeting's over with, the deposit goes back, and then who knows, maybe they won't have another meeting the next month because something comes up, you know. So I think
Okay.
once they're done, they're.
You want to write that down on your notes, and that's what we'll do.
Do you have the most recent draft of the policy?
It's in, I think the policy,
It's not in the packet.
look at the board pack.
The regular board packet?
Yeah. I put it in there because I knew everybody would look at that one.
Got it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
So just one bit of direction, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And I've been related to the changes you were just talking about, but there's two things here, right? There's what we want to say in the policy, and then how we want to guide them on how to apply the policy.
And that was my question. I know and I asked Director Consiglio this as well. In terms of the procedure, does the procedure need to be written into this policy? Or is that, where does a procedure get built and placed?
They sent us back. I don't see that.
Yeah, the policy is
No,
not
I'm
in
sorry,
here, Mike.
the
But your email
policy is not here.
suggestion
What I
is
have
here.
in here.
That's just an
is
email
determined by
suggestion.
staff.
Okay.
I don't have the updated policy.
Well, this
Okay.
is proposed changes, right?
These are proposed changes
But it's
from
not-
But that's in
staff.
like a narrative form,
Right.
I think. Which is a more substantial change too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it answers
No,
the
the
questions, or it asks questions
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
that we need to address or dismiss.
Well, well,
You know.
Oh, did you put like an attachment in here, Joey? Is that?
Yeah, you know what?
No, honestly, I'm going off of my BGPP packet
Oh,
from
from January.
January.
Yeah.
I just, I had it in my bag, ready to go for today. But that's okay. So we were able to change. We were able to make the change from the fees to deposit. We're actually adding deposit to the wording.
Yeah.
With fee as opposed to getting rid of fee. And then we added the $50 refundable deposit to that bullet. The concerns that Director Consiglio was bringing up was specifically due to like how what the board considers as damage, right? And he outlined some good key points here as far as what damage looks like, or excessive, or like dirtiness, right?
Yeah.
Right? If it's not left in the same way it was handed over to the group, right? Who inspects the room and then when and how the deposit is returned. So I think we figured out that portion.
So what was it? What's damage? How is that defined? How did you? What's the?
It's not defined.
It's not defined in our policy.
Mhm.
So he outlined physical damage to furniture, fixtures, equipment, extra cleaning or custodial work, furniture being rearranged and not returned in its original configuration.
Mhm.
Staff time required to address issues after the group leaves. What is the current procedure when somebody reserves a room? What is our staff doing before and after, a reservation?
Well, so
currently?
the request comes in, it's reviewed if that time is available. Now, a lot of times they'll put in they'll reserve the space, and it'll be like on draft or hold until we review it.
Mhm.
And the next point is that they do have the space. Prior to the meeting that day, we'll set up the room.
Okay.
And then after the meeting, we'll take down the room.
Okay. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that point was here it stated furniture being rearranged and not returned to its original configuration. That's not really something we need to consider because the staff
Well,
breaks down the room.
You're right, but
after the
some
meeting.
groups like to set up on their own, so we just
Got it.
we leave it. What some of these concerns are basically we want to get away from making any judgment calls. We want to eliminate that problem. So we're just looking for direction. Just tell us what the rules of the road are. As best possible way to explain it. I mean,
I think there should be like a walkthrough before the meeting. Staff should take whoever's renting the meeting for a walkthrough, and then make sure that the room comes back in the same condition as it was before the meeting. So return the room in the original order condition.
Feasible for somebody to take a video or picture of the room, and then after they're done, take
Yeah,
a video or picture of the room?
we'll probably have to do that.
Mhm.
We'll do that. We'll put it in a process.
Most of these people show up a little bit prior to
Yeah, a
whenever
little bit.
the event starts. Is it feasible to have a designee do a walkthrough of the room? Whoever was there to set up the room, that knows how the room was set up, if it was set up, to do a quick walkthrough, just point out anything that is already messed up. Kind of like when you go to U-Haul and you rent the truck, you do a walk around real quick and they point out, okay, this is damaged, this is damaged, this is damaged. We're aware of this.
Okay. What I would say is most of the meetings, which would be about 98%, will be people sitting in a chair. Okay. I think it's a good idea to do all of that if they're doing a craft or something.
Okay.
Maybe you look at it and that, and the other thing to think about, we will be replacing in time the carpet. So if a coffee gets spilled, we clean it up. That's all.
I think there's damages and then there's accidentals.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that
Right.
we can
Accidental.
we can use our discretion on whether that's something that we want to charge for.
Can I make a language suggestion?
Yeah.
A lot of times when you give like an employee property and they require to return it, you use the words substantially in the condition in which it was received. So I think that's what trustee Felonius is saying. The room should be substantially in the condition it was before you came here. So if somebody spills coffee, you'll clean it up. You're not gonna try to take $7 out of their $50
Yeah.
profit. If somebody throws a chair through a window, that's different.
Right.
So I think that's common contractual language that's acceptable and everybody knows what it means. So I think that would be something that would work. Substantially the condition in which it was received.
Go ahead.
But the thing is again, like when we get new carpeting, if there's damage to the carpeting, well, you can't wash it out. Like, paint, you might not be able to wash out from a crack.
And
Or even coffee stains. If you put coffee stains on a carpet, you may not be able to wash that out.
We're a public building, and the rest of the
Yeah.
building
Okay.
is the same.
Again, there's going to be accidentals, and I think that if we're doing something that we have a bunch of kids finger painting, I don't think it's out of
Well,
but we can also be preventative and just ask whoever's hosting, can you please place some plastic in the areas to kind of just protect the area, right? Like, I don't think that's, I mean,
Yeah.
that could get,
And if we do squares like these, because this is real easy, the squares come up, if it's, one of them gets ruined by, let's say, paint or whatever,
You could just
those can
replace
just
it.
pop up and you can put a new one, you can put new ones down. That's one nice thing about these squares like this.
And
as
we will be
opposed
going to a vinyl floor. When we replace this,
Okay.
it'll be a vinyl floor.
All right,
love that.
How many in the past, how many things in the past have we had trouble where somebody totally wiped out the room?
None. And
Yeah,
what we
because I
would
just
do,
say I've booked, I mean, literally hundreds of meeting rooms for people, and I can think of 2 times that there's ever been like any.
yeah.
damage.
And you know what? If somebody was doing something like that, we set this room up like how we set our crafts up. We lay out something on the floor.
Yeah, the
If we know
plastic
ahead of
wood.
time.
In general, I mean, that,
No.
just speaking from when we did this months ago, right? The idea behind the deposit was to make sure people were gonna use the room.
Show
That
up.
somebody just isn't gonna just book it and then take it out of circulation for other people to use. It's incidental if they're gonna get damaged, but, I mean, I hope we're not worried about nothing, but when that happens and somebody contests it, then there's gonna be a big discussion and they're gonna be in front of us going, how come my $50 check got held back? And we better be able to have a good explanation.
Substantially in the condition that we received it.
And just making sure we are covering anything else directed to rules.
Now, who inspects?
Is there somebody that I don't know, like, hands the room off typically? Like, when they come in for their reservation, they go to the circulation desk. Is there somebody that's designated to, I don't know, let them in the room, or does anyone let them in the room, or is there like a designee that typically comes in to either do like setup or assist in setup?
Jessica, you want to answer the question? The weekends is the one in question. In the weekdays, we have staff there. Weekends, it's a smaller staff. But we haven't run into any problems yet.
Somebody still unlocks the room, right? Because the room is always locked if they're not
Right.
using it. So somebody comes to unlock the room and let them in,
Correct.
whether it's circulation or it might be just a part-timer on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, if I could suggest too, I think setting up the room for a group is unnecessary. I mean, it's a nice customer service to extend that if you're available, but I think it should even be in the agreement that if you're renting the room, then you set it up and you break it down and let your staff off the hook on needing to drop whatever it is when they show up to set it up.
Does
So
these
do we
these,
want them
these
to be
tables and
able
chairs
to-
always stay in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, trustee Mahan, I agree with somewhat with you, but a lot of times these tables are in there.
And then
That's
they
the problem
can
with
damage
those
things,
tables.
taking it out.
Yeah. That's
I think
the
I'm not
only problem
yeah.
with that.
And some days the tables are heavy. If you-
I also like that we set it up because it reduces our liability
Yeah, you
if
don't want somebody
if
to
somebody
get hurt.
drops a table on their foot,
Yeah, that's true.
or just gets hurt in the process doing whatever, something that we can't foresee, setting up tables and chairs. I like the idea that we do the setup if it's the setup is substantial.
And there could be 3 setups during a day. Take down and set up.
So what's what would your recommendation be for inspection of damage?
You know what? What I would do is keep a file of what the room, a view, video of what the room is right now, updated, whatever, and then whoever is, maybe what we should do is when a program is, when a reservation is made, that we assign someone to assist that's working that day. Then they're required to open the door. They're required to set up the room and take it down and look at it. I think that's the only thing. Again, on weekends it could be a problem. Friday nights we could have security set up the room for the first one on Saturday, but we, a lot of times we have Sid has a class in the morning once a month. I mean, any suggestions from staff?
Sometimes they'll specify how they want the room set up, and a lot of times we don't know. So we'll have a couple chairs out, a couple tables out, and then if they need the chairs, X amount of chairs, X amount of tables, take them out, put them back in, whatever the case may be.
So we still overcomplicating it. I mean, really, we only have to
Yeah,
worry
we're
about somebody
overconfident. That's a good point.
puts a chair through a window or,
Right.
totally
Yeah.
rips up the carpet because they were, taking a
We'll
razor
continue
or
what
something.
we're doing.
Okay.
And we'll review we'll put something, again, substantially in the condition.
Right, and then if the staff sees it, then they can take a video of it or
Right.
whatever,
Take a
document the
picture.
damage.
Right.
And then you go back to video or something.
Exactly. There's a
Yeah,
video camera we could identify.
Keep it simple,
with.
stupid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we really don't want to waste staff time basically at the end of the day with all
No.
this.
You have cameras in here, so they'll.
So, do you? Where was this last deposit held? Like, was it in a lockbox at the circulation desk?
Yes, in a lockbox, secure.
Okay, and then do we have like a?
A receipt.
I know you provide a receipt. So
Yeah.
how are we tracking when the check is returned? Is the renter initialing that they
Initial form.
they'll initial a
Right.
form stating that they received their deposit back? Okay, fantastic. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, we keep it simple. There's not going to be too many instances of this.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. So, how do we move forward with these changes, Tom?
Someone makes a motion to recommend these changes to the full board. I believe
Pending
that's-
legal review.
Well, okay, but I mean, I've reviewed this policy
Yeah.
a lot already. The changes you're talking about are not
Are not
substantial,
correct,
so I don't think we need to,
and I would be good with that.
Okay.
I'll do it if you want me to, but
No.
you're just talking about, you're just really just tinkering with
Doing some
of the
tweaks.
fine points now, so.
I
Correct.
agree.
I believe under your policy on policies, the procedure is this committee recommends to the full board, and then at the next meeting, the full board would take it up as recommended by the committee. So what would be ideal for when that happens is that the full board be given a red line of the policy with the changes you're recommending tonight, so the board knows what it's for.
Correct. So that means they'd be official probably next month, but we'll get the red lines out and go from there.
As it exists now.
Correct.
Because remember, last time, at the last meeting, we sort of switched gears right in the middle of the meeting when the idea of the
Correct.
deposit came up, and that seemed to work, so everybody.
Okay.
So I'll make the motion.
So we'll take a motion to present these changes to the full board
Correct.
next month.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
You gotta ask-
What's that?
You gotta ask for nays.
Oh,
It's always,
oh,
all those in favor, all those
all,
opposed.
any opposed? Motion passes. I forget
Yeah,
about
Mike,
I forget about the nays.
Mike, just have to
sayers.
remember to do a red line of the policy.
I'm not on
with
the committee.
changes, and we can
Okay.
Put that in next month's agenda.
Okay,
So we'll have a copy of the actual
of the
policy.
changes,
with
of the
changes.
red line.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, that is all for unfinished business. On to new business. Do I have a motion to pass the photography and recording policy revision as presented in your packet?
I'll make the motion.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on the photography and recording policy revision?
Want some background on it so you understand why we're changing it?
Sure.
The problem is with, I wish I had my phone, is the phone. Okay, kids are videotaping each other. And some kids get upset. We've had a couple instances where they were upset that they were being filmed. Their mother contacted me. That's what initiated this. Okay, the way this policy is written now, and our attorneys reviewed it, it gives us an opportunity, if someone is filming someone playing a game and he's unhappy about it, we could ask the person to stop. And that's what we're looking to do here. It just gives us some leeway that we can protect a minor. And that's the reason for this. To our attorney, one question was asked, and I wanted to make sure. A parent asked, is it legal for an adult to film a child in a library? Not doing.
Well, that's a tricky question, because generally a library is a public place.
Exactly.
So people have a right to film things going on in a public place, but the way we've dealt with it in policies is to say, if you're making a person under 18 a substantial focus of your filming, for example, some little kid is doing something and then there's a grown man over there videotaping the kid, that can be, in my opinion, prohibited. And even if there's technical problems with prohibiting that, I would rather err on the side of protecting the child in that circumstance than not. So that's the way that we would handle that.
So we should add something on the emphasis of explaining substantial
Well,
recording.
the problem is, Mike, the problem is, I think you should leave the policy as is. The problem is if there's a kid's program and the kid's parents take out their phones to record their kid doing the program, well, that's what happens, right? Every parent has a phone and is recording the kid, and the parent gets some other kid off in the side, where there's a group of kids singing a song or something like that, then you have a whole group. So in that situation, the people are kind of consenting to have their child photographed, right?
Along with in a public building.
You gotta have a healthy dose of common sense. If you see the grown man hovering over a young child, recording them,
Yeah.
that's a problem, right? So that's something that should be addressed. But it's very hard to define exactly, when the adult dad is taking a picture of a kid.
Right.
And let's think about that too. You don't know that everybody's standing there taking a picture of his dad. We assume that, right? We don't know that. So you have to it's a hard balancing act.
Oh, I understand it.
So the policy doesn't restrict an adult from recording, but it allows you to enforce something that is out of whack.
Yes, here's what the policy, some of the added language. While photography and recording in public areas may be permitted, recording that intentionally targets, harasses, intimidates, ridicules, or interferes with another patron's ability to use the library is not permitted. So that language is written in terms of balance.
Yeah.
Balancing the child's right to participate in a library program without being photographed by some weird person that he doesn't know, right? So that's where some saw that happening, under this policy, we could put a stop. But
Vintage.
it doesn't prohibit the parent from saying, okay, I'm gonna take a big picture of all my kids
Right.
in the art class or whatever program we're participating. Okay? Makes
Fantastic.
sense? I mean,
Thank you.
This is as good as this is really as good as policy language can get
Correct.
in that.
And I've taken my granddaughter to a story time and bubble time. I would videotape her, and of course there would be other kids jumping around. So I'm
Right.
videotaping other kids that I don't know, but I'm focusing on my granddaughter.
Well, what if the parent says, no? Why are you videotaping my kid?
In today's day and age, it's
Because
almost
they're
an
videotaping their
expectation.
kids.
Yeah,
Like when you go to a school play,
everybody looks out the phone.
everyone's gonna rip out
Yeah.
their phones, right? If their kids perform, if it's
Sometimes
like
the
an
kid
art,
walks out the door and the parents are going, taking pictures of it. So
Right.
yeah, that's correct, but, you know, the answer to that question would be, you know, your kid's participating in a program in public.
Yep.
I'm not focusing on your kid, I'm taking a picture, I'm taking a video of the public performance.
Right.
Right.
If you don't want your kid photographed, then maybe you shouldn't be in the public performance.
Exactly.
What you wanna be able to prohibit is the guy that comes
Yeah.
in and has no business there, you
Mhm.
know, that's not really legal terminology, because everybody can come to the library, but
Right.
he's got nothing to do with the kids, he's got nothing to do with the program, but he's taking pictures of it.
See, the incident that I witnessed is Picket Fence had a group of kids and they were touring the circle. And they got in front of Turning Point, and the parents and the caregivers were taking pictures. Well, a passerby came by and started taking pictures, and the aides really laid into that person. Now, no, the parents don't want them photographed.
That's a public sidewalk, but they could also react however they want.
Exactly.
You know,
I
they can
know,
intimidate
I
them out
know
of
that.
filming it, and that's their own.
He did stop. The person did stop, but they were pretty adamant. And
But now, like June said though, nowadays, everybody has their phone and taking pictures of everything. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine, but I'll tell you what, when I'm walking down the street with my child and somebody that I don't know comes up and starts taking pictures of my
Right, no,
kid,
I'm just
that's
saying,
gonna be
yeah, I know, I'm
problematic.
just saying that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, this is what everybody, you're in a restaurant, everybody starts taking pictures.
Take pictures
Of
of
their
their
food,
food, yes.
and you sit at the
Yeah.
table, and, yeah, I know, it's kinda hard.
So it seems
But
like
Mike, I think with the example you gave of like one kid to another filming them, I think the staff should just look at the patron behavior code of conduct and see like, is this bullying or is this intimidating or harassing someone? You know, and leave the specific part of the filming out of it.
yeah, well, there's a fine line with bullying. The problem that we had, and it's also escalated to the schools, is, and we were unaware of children being photographed in the bathroom by other children. And
That's a
then
problem.
and it was revealed at the school. And the assistant principal called me up and asked, staff was unaware of this occurred. And the school administration called me up and asked if I would prohibit that person to go into the library.
you can't suspend a kid from going to the school.
Exactly.
So
If a child, well, I wanted to discuss it here in an open forum. Because, you know, my thoughts are, if somebody was bad here, I can't call the school and say, you know, you should suspend them for a week. You know?
but you think you can take care of it, take it under advisement, and make
I
sure
can,
that
and that's what I plan. I haven't addressed it now. It's happened twice. The same assistant principal. So, and either case, I don't have an incident report to back that claim up.
Yeah, you have to catch someone in the act
well,
of doing that.
right,
Right?
you might never get it.
That's the whole point.
well, if it's not, here's the thing: it has to be reported here so we can address it.
Right.
If we're hearing it secondhand,
Exactly.
what account do we have? We have
Exactly.
one person's account from
Right.
that's secondhand, right? Unless the person that's getting victimized is addressing it here, it's a fine line, right? And
Yeah,
if
I
it's-
mean, what
and
bathroom? Is
if
it the
it's-
same bathroom each time?
Is it always the same kid?
And if it's
No,
and if it's within if it's between two children that attend the same school, then that's an administrative issue on the school side,
understand.
and the school can do administrative consequences on their,
No, not if they're breaking the
Not
law here by
right,
filming someone in
not
the
if they're doing
bathroom, and we need to do something about
outside of
that.
school.
No, but they're showing the pictures in school.
they can't.
Well, showing this,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a problem for the school to handle. But I
Right.
mean, taking the photos here,
I think that's what he means.
yeah. But I mean, should the bathrooms have locks on them? Is there some other kind of
Yeah.
system we could have in place for that?
So it doesn't mean any kind of change of the policy
No.
that you guys amended.
Any for other discussion? Personally, I like the wording that's been recommended. I mean, it could always be reviewed at a later date, but
Exactly.
I guess call to vote, and then this we're passing this to go to the
To the board.
general.
Well, the motion was to pass the photography and recording policy revision as presented to go to the full board.
Correct.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Motion passes. All right. Next, do I have a motion to pass and present the personnel manual? Are these revisions, Director Consiglio? These are revisions, correct?
These are revisions, updated, clarity, reorganization, expanded introduction,
Okay.
clarifying, more detail.
Give me 1 second. So do I have a motion to pass the personnel manual as presented
Or
uh,
to go to the full board.
to go to the full board?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Director Consiglio, is there anything?
I have a cheat sheet for you. It's headed one-page changes at a glance. That's how
Yep.
I was gonna review it.
Uh-huh.
And you have other tables in there that will tell you the changes.
Yeah.
And you can list them line by line. A couple of the major ones that I would say, the first thing is the shift, the change, part-time employee from 29 hours to 32. Okay, so what that does is, with the amount of vacation time that's given and sick time, we're able to do that a little bit more freely and not exceed the amount that, people fall under full-time.
What's the full-time hour?
37 and a half, anything
Right.
over the 32, 33 and 33 plus.
33 is a threshold.
32 is the threshold, so anything over 32.
Anything over 32.
Yeah.
Got it.
And you know what that allows us in situations. I mean, again, if you look at the budget, medical expenses have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to make changes to that ad. And I should have stated before that, I hope 10% increase one year to the next is sufficient enough. But that's what I have in the budget.
Is there a legal parameter around that full-time, part-time? Like can you not?
You can define it any way you want, but the hours a person works have consequences. So if somebody's
So break time.
regularly scheduled to work 30 hours a week, they become entitled to health insurance under the Affordable Care Act. If somebody works, if you're on a 1,000 hour IMRF standard, if somebody works 20 hours a week, they become IMRF hours.
Mhm.
There are benchmarks of that. Those are the two main ones. But otherwise, you can define employees however you want. After 40, of course, people get overtime unless they're exempt.
That's why I just wanted to surface those. We can talk about.
Yeah. So switching this from 29 to 32 would make them eligible for health care, right? Insurance.
No, 30 does it up to 32, they're not eligible for
Correct.
healthcare. After 32.
No,
yeah.
I don't.
He-
Is that right?
Tom
No, I
just
think it's
stated
30.
30.
It's 30.
It's
It's
30.
30.
Yeah.
hours a week.
So we would have to give
But
them.
that's not all, that's not through the library, that's through Obama.
Obamacare is a statute that says that people who work 30 hours a week regularly have to get health.
From
But
the
that doesn't mean the
employer.
library
Yeah,
has to
from
pay
their
for it.
employer.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
so
does.
that's-
So we would take that.
Yeah.
Healthcare cost.
So we would have to drop it back down to 29, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
So there'd be no change in that.
Well, I'm trying to find this isn't my red line copy that I sent you. I'm trying to find where that is in the manual, Mike, because I thought it was.
Oh, I got all the yellow, you got, you have the book with the yellow.
No, I had a red line where I.
Yeah.
It up. Part-time employees are regularly scheduled to work fewer than 32 hours per week and may be eligible for prorated benefits. So you can have it at 32 if you want to, but if somebody's working 30, then they become entitled to health insurance. So as a safety measure, you may want to make that, have a prohibition on a part-time employee working more than 29.
And that's what the existing policy had.
So we're
Leave it
gonna
alone. Go back to.
We'll go back. We'll go back.
So we would have to change that in anywhere it says 32 hours under the employee classification
Back to 29.
back to 29. Okay. Any other discussion?
Nope.
May I?
Go ahead, Mike.
I don't have it in front of me, but is it still the time off is at your discretion of how much time off individual
Yeah,
employees
the
get?
vacation time and sick time all stay the same. It's the same as the policy. No bucket or anything like that. It's accrued on accrued basis.
You're talking about what's offered, Mike,
Yeah, I'm talking about what's offered
when they start?
when they start.
Yeah, it's
But I
still
thought the
my-
one that
my
you sent was
discretion.
you choose
You know what?
based on the individual
You-
how much time
you know-
off they get.
Yeah,
Based on their experience and all that.
based on their experience.
That seems
and
problematic
MLS
to me.
And that. Generally, what we've done in the past, MLS candidates receive 4 weeks.
I just think it's a good idea to put it like to outline it specifically so that you don't have one employee knows that you gave that person 2 weeks and you gave someone else 4 weeks.
The point about MLS or the discretion?
The discretion, as long as it's outlined and there's no like judgment made, it's just when this happens, you're triggered to get 4 weeks. If this, you get 2 weeks. And again, I don't have it in front of me. Sorry.
No, I know.
I just want it to be clear language.
So I'm trying to figure, I'm
Wait,
trying to,
didn't you do that? I thought you put, or no, I told you. before
Yeah,
to do that. I thought that you did.
we clearly defined that a little bit more.
vacation
Oh,
allowance
okay.
determination.
I don't usually print out my red lines that I sent back.
Yeah, here,
I see this one.
What page is that?
I see 34. At the time of hire, the library director will determine each employee's vacation time allotment based on position, prior experience, and operational needs. All new full-time employees will receive a minimum of 2 weeks of vacation annually. And he does examples.
I think one of my recommendations in here was to say that you had, that you put out a schedule that says, here's the employee, here's what you get when you're, you know, when you start after 2 years, after 5 years, however you wanna do it, you can do it, but I think it's a good.
And that's in here too. There is a table for that,
There is a table?
yeah,
That's what we need.
that's what we have.
Because I agree with trustee Monahan that if you have two similarly situated employees and you said, okay, you're a librarian, you're gonna get 4 weeks vacation, and you're a librarian, you get 2 weeks vacation, you have to have, we could do that, but we have to have a good reason why we're doing it.
So I'm looking at the wording. It says upon, at the bottom, upon completion of 10 years of service,
Yeah, what page are you on right now?
35.
Okay.
Full-time employees will be awarded 3 additional weeks of vacation. So is that on top of what they're currently receiving,
No,
or
it's 3 weeks.
it gets updated to?
Updated to 3 weeks.
Okay, because the wording just sounds like we're giving
It
3.
does, the way it's worded, it says 3, it looks like you're getting 3 additional
That
weeks.
is what it says, and I know I pointed that out. It says,
I
put that in the
used
comment.
that.
Same as in
Mike, I
page.
think you accepted my changes, but not my comments. So like, if I
Okay.
actually crossed something out and wrote something else in, you accepted those. But I had a bunch of margin comments, I know I did one for
Okay.
this, because that's what it says.
I will go back to that. I did read them, and I thought your comments were in the notes.
No, sometimes they were, like if I
Yeah.
changed something and I explained why I was changing it, here's why I'm
Okay.
changing this. But sometimes, this is a policy decision,
Yeah.
not my decision. There's nothing
Same
nothing
as-
illegal about doing this, so I wouldn't cross it out as illegal, but I did
Same
point
here.
out that
Yeah.
this means, to me, this means somebody's getting 3 more weeks of
Correct.
vacation. And I don't
Right.
think that's what you intend.
No, that's
Yeah.
not what I intended.
You should put
That's how
this
the
up.
policy was written before.
You
That's
should,
from the original
Well,
policy.
it'll be a 10 years.
you should put it up with the committee with the comments included from the lawyer, so, hey, this is what you should consider.
It's a good idea.
My only, that's fine if that's what you wanna do, my only concern would be that those comments are attorney-client privilege, and we're certainly happy to share with the committee members and the board, but everybody needs to know that that's privilege, so you don't share it with anybody else.
So should we table this for the next BGPP meeting pending the revisions from Tom, so we can get an updated copy with all of the revisions?
I think it would be most helpful, assuming, see, some of my comments were, I don't know if you wanna do this. So
Right.
Maybe it would be easiest to table this and have, and show them my red line without the changes being accepted.
I'd make that motion.
Does that make sense, Mike, for them to see that?
Yeah.
Not my decision. I go by what the board wants.
Yes.
So
I think
with
either way, that or you make the changes based on whatever notes that.
See, I thought I
You know,
did.
or, yeah, I know,
thought
I know,
did,
but
I
be sure that
highlighted
you
it
did
yellow.
or something.
That
and
would,
then-
that would short circuit a little bit if you went back and looked at my comments, and if you don't understand them or you wanna talk about them, we can talk.
No,
about them.
Tom, I did.
Yeah.
I just took it that I read the comments first, and probably the couple that I looked at, especially the wording was in there. Because you put some in there that was consistent with other policies, and I went back and checked the other policies. That was the imperative. That was the important thing on your comments.
So
I would suggest you just table it
What do
for
I do with
review and
this-
let you decide
Yeah.
what makes more sense.
What do I do with the standing motion, Tom? Because I have a standing motion to accept.
You asked to amend the motion to table until the next
Yeah, somebody else
committee
could just make a
meeting.
motion to
You go to the
table.
I'd make
person
the
that
motion correct,
and
to
ask
table
if
it.
they amend the motion.
Okay.
No amendment needed.
No?
A motion to table would just take
Correct.
the motion.
That would
take
yes.
the main motion and push it off.
push it off.
So you don't have to amend it. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So do I have a motion to
So
table
moved.
this?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. The motion passes. Okay. That's it for new business. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are adjourned.